Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's intro is in black and white because today is a palette bingo and I forgot to film my intro before I did the look. Today I'm actually doing a bingo with a twist. As if there's not enough of a twist in palette bingo, I'm actually doing a palette bingo with my favorite shades in each eyeshadow palette. So I'll take you over to my shelf where they're all lined up. I'm going to pull out the first 5 palettes and we're going to do a little bit of swatching and discovering which shades I love the best in each of those palettes. And then I'm gonna do a bingo with them. That's the plan, this is the result. And if you wanna see what I'm playing with, what my thought process was, and how I got to this, then don't go anywhere. If you watched my recent collection tour, this is everything I've got as far as eyeshadow palettes. In that video, I didn't include these two because these are actually set aside for a friend. And then I don't think I included this one because mentally I've already decluttered it. I'm planning on getting rid of it, like listing it whenever I get a chance. And this one, I'm gonna list, I had a friend who wanted it, then she changed her mind, then I have someone else who might want it. Anyway, it turns out that that one is the same as another one that I got, and I just ended up having to choose my favorite formula. Anyway, so I'm going to choose just the first 5 palettes and figure out my favorite shades in each of those palettes and then do a palette bingo. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. The palettes that I've got are Naughty from BH Cosmetics, Sickly Sweet from Blend Bunny. I just did a week of looks with this palette. It's on my channel last week or so. I can card it above if you want to see. Palette from Ace Beauté, Nomad Whistler Snow Lodge, and also Nomad's America's Parks. You know, there's one in here. Okay, so this one's easy. This is the palette from Ace Beauté, which a subscriber messaged me on Instagram and said that she heard I was planning on potentially decluttering this one, and she offered me a trade for an Udensai and ABH palette. So I've got 2 new ones coming in, and this one is going to somebody who really wants it. Okay, so this is a great palette. I've got a lot of use out of it, and I'm ready to pass that on. I think my favorite shade in this palette is unquestionably this one right here. This is the shade Scrunchy. It is so much fun. It's just a lemon yellow shimmer, but it's so good. I'll swatch it. After I figure out the other shades, I'll swatch my 5 in each palette, but that one is no question at all. Now, the America's Parks palette. Oh, I don't know. You know, I might have to swatch just to see. I'm kind of looking at this purple matte, the lighter of the 2 green mattes, and then this shade here. Let's see, we've got purple, green, and then this one here. It's called the Narrows. Ooh, or do I like this one better? Now it's time to swatch. Oh yeah, it's this one here, the first one I swatched, the Narrows. I mean, the mattes are really pretty. And I will need some mattes for this look because this is a palette bingo. Well, I don't know what to do. I'll tell you what, I think what I'll do is I'll choose my my favorite shades from each palette. And then if I need to bring in mattes to just complete the look, then I'll do that. So it'll be a palette bingo with those 5, but I'm allowed to pull in supplemental shades if I need to. So as far as my favorite in this palette, it's gonna have to be the Narrows. This is an orangey, peachy shimmer with some gold. It's really pretty. All right, so we've got that one down. Now let's take Whistler Snow Lodge. And I actually really like a lot of shades in this palette. Oh man, I love this one here. This is Ski Bum. This is a blue purple iridescent. It's super pretty. Whistler is nice. Whistler's nice. So Ski Bum and Whistler next to each other. Whistler is a very light, I'm not gonna say sagey green because it's a little more cool toned than sage, but it's lovely. And it's kind of that range of depth, you know. I like a lot of them, but I think my favorite is gonna be Ski Bum. Now we've got Sickly Sweet, and I know for sure that my favorite shade in this palette is Cupcake, which is another yellow shimmer, but this is more warm tone, kind of like a vanilla buttercream icing. Right here, really pretty. And in the Naughty palette, ooh, I don't know. Here's what the palette looks like. This was BH Cosmetics Christmas several years ago. The mattes in here are quite lovely too. Maybe I'll pick a matte from this palette. Favorite shade? It's hard to know. It's hard to know. This shimmer is beautiful. As far as mattes go, I really like these 3 right here. Rudolph, Candy Cane, and Sugar Plum. I think at this time, I might have to say Candy Cane's my favorite shimmer, my favorite shadow in the palette. couldn't think of the word. So I'm gonna swatch those 5 favorites and see what my color story is, and then I might bring in something else to round off the look because I believe I have 4 shimmers and 1 matte. So here's my color story for today's bingo. It's got that really bright red matte, and then I have like the reddish orange shimmer and 2 yellowy shimmers, which would be easy to match. The blue purple lower lash line is tricky. I'm trying to think what I wanted to bring in to help round out the look a little bit. I don't really know. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Glamlight Icing Primer. Everything I'm using is linked down below if possible. Some things are discontinued, like the Naughty palette and America's Parks, but if it's not actively for sale somewhere, at least I'm going to mention what I'm using. Okay, I think I have a plan. I'm wearing a green shirt, and I don't really want a red and green look, so I think I'm going to take the red and try to move it more towards purple, because purple is going to look good with green. So this is this is my shade in the palette. I'm going to bring in this one as well. Let's start with Sugar Plum. And I'm going to go in really lightly and hope that expect that it will build up to be a bit darker where I want it to be, and then add in the red and go from there. So with Sugar Plum, I think I'll sort of start that very lightly in the crease. You know, I need something on my lips. How about a bit of honey from NYX Butter Gloss. Back to this purple color, putting it very, very lightly in my crease. I started my brush right here in case there was a lot of pigment, and then when I realized that I was in pretty good shape, then I started dragging it over because I want this area to be lighter as usual. That's a pretty color though. It was certainly a contender for a favorite shade in the palette. I just couldn't quite decide. It's not that I haven't used the palette enough to have a favorite shade per se. I did an entire week of looks with the Naughty palette last year, I think. It's just that it's a really large palette, and none of the shades particularly stood out to me as being the standard plus a little extra. The standard's excellent. They're all really, really good. I could have chosen a least favorite, which would have been either of the glitters. There's one shade in the Naughty palette, which is kind of like an eraser. It's basically my skin tone, and it does a great job of hiding other shadows, even darker shadows. It's a really good shadow. But anyway, this is pretty. So maybe I'll deepen a little bit more. I just tapped into the pan once more, just in here, like the outer half of the crease. Now with the Singe EO2, I've gone into the Candy Cane shade, and I'm putting this in my outer crease, outer corner, laying it on top of the purple and just softening everything. I really wanted to pull this red more purple. Okay, I think that's a good start. I'm now going to take the Ski Bum shade in Whistler Snow Lodge, this one right here. I'll load up my brush and then I'll spray it. And this, I think, because it's a blue pinky purple color, it's going to draw even more of the purpley pink tones out of the red shadow. So let me start, it's light enough for me to start here. Let's see how that looks. Today has been a hard day with my kids. My 3-year-old specifically. She's just a tornado. Her goal in life is to destroy everything. And I've been on the verge of tears multiple times today. She's been in tears a couple of times. I lost my temper once. I had to go out and apologize. It's just been a hard day. And now she's supposed to be napping and she's not. She's resting quietly, so I'll take that, but she needs a nap. It's just a hard day. Okay, so that's beautiful. It's still blue, but now you can really see the pink purple shift. Yep. I do want to, I think I'll just grab Cupcake from Sickly Sweet and put that right on the inner space here, the inner corner as well. I don't want to take over that multi-chrome because it's really pretty. I love that shade. I don't want to take over, but I do want a pop and a quarter pop here, and I do want a little bit of lightness right there, kind of overlaying the blue purple. That's so pretty. Okay, lower lash line, it's time to play with scrunchie. So the scrunchie shade is from the Paletopoly palette. It's that lemony yellow shimmer. It's amazing. And I'm diving in like way too enthusiastically. Calm down, girl. I'm gonna take it. I've sprayed it on my brush and I'll lay it down here. You can see I like way overloaded my brush. It's definitely, you know, it's interesting, the formula difference. It's the Nomad shimmer here, which is not, I think, their newest formulation for shimmers, but the Nomad shimmer is a little bit quieter, a little bit creamier, more leaning towards a traditional shimmer. The Blend Bunny shimmer is very, very sparkly and metallic and opaque. And then this Paletopoly shimmer is a bit chunkier. It is their newer formulation. It's just a little bit thicker. I'll take that same brush and go into the narrows from the Nomad America's Parks. I'll spray that as well. This is that beautiful multi-chromatic, like neutral sort of. And I think I'll put that here. Ooh, that's like a copper penny. Look at that, so pretty. I'm gonna bring it all the way to the outer corner, but then I might take a bit of red and just overlay it a little so that the colors and the formulas go together a little more smoothly, but that's the idea. Back into Candy Cane from BH. I don't want to totally cover it. I just want to tie it into the outer corner so there's not this disconnect. I don't think I'm going to deepen anymore, and I don't think I'm going to try to transfer from the blue, purple, pink shimmer into the red with another shimmer like I often do. I think I'll just leave it at that. So here's everything all done. In my waterline, I used the shade Two Can Do It from ColourPop. It's just I wanted to bring out the yellow a little bit more, so that's why I did something like a metallic marigold. I have mascara on my cheeks. I'm wearing the No Vacancy Super Shock Cheek from ColourPop as a blush. And then I have the Aurora Glow Kit from ABH. This one, Luna, is the one that I'm using as a highlighter. Hopefully you guys can see that somewhere in the process. And as you know, I'm wearing the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Bit of Honey. So this was actually my second plan for the color scheme that I had, the bingo colors. This was my first idea. My first idea was to put red in the full crease and deepen as much as I could in the outer corner, and then take my favorite shade from Paletopoly, Scrunchie, and lay it over the whole lid, basically, out to the outer corner almost. And then I took the Shallows shade from America's Parks and I put it between the yellow and the red as a bridge. That was my plan for the lid. Inner corner highlight of Cupcake from Sickly Sweet, and then the blue purple on the lower lash line, which would have led back into the red. And of course, as it did up in this look, the red would have pulled the pinky purple tones out of the blue multi-chrome ski bum from Snow Lodge. So that was my initial plan. That's what my brain was automatically going to, like, okay, I've got yellowy, orange, and reds, they're gonna go together, and the blue purple was the outlier. But the reason I didn't do this was because I didn't want to look like a Christmas ornament. And I thought that if I had red and gold paired with my green shirt, it would be really festive. So that's why I decided to try to take the red and the undertones that I was seeing when it blended out a little bit and try to pull that color more to the purple pink side of things with the ski bum shade from Snow Lodge. And I think that it turned out really lovely. I might, where's my mirror? I might still look like a Christmas ornament, but maybe a less conventional color scheme for Christmas ornaments. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I'm really liking this video idea, just taking my favorite shades and doing a palette bingo. You'll have to tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, tell me what you think of the look. Tell me what you think of these palettes. Do you have them? Which is your favorite shade in any of these palettes if you have them yourself? I always enjoy talking to you guys. And to the subscriber who's getting the Paletopoly palette, you have to try Scrunchie. Just throw it everywhere. It's so beautiful. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for giving me your time. I'm feeling a little bit de-stressed from my frustrations all day with my children. I love them so much. I love them. I love them so much. And I snuggle and kiss and hug them and hold them as long as I can. But some days we just need some distance. So this has been therapeutic for me. I'm gonna go make myself a coffee and refresh myself fully for when my kids wake up from their naps. Anyway, I hope that you guys will consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done so before and you would like to see more content like this. Be sure to check my description box for my palette bingo playlist. There are tons of videos in there, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!